Hi everyone, today I'm out in the mountains to review this, the Sigma 70 to 200 millimeter f2.8 DG/DN sport lens. This is an absolutely fantastic lens. Might be my favorite 70 to 200 millimeter lens ever, and this is the perfect day to test it out with the mist and the fog cloaking the mountains, making for some very interesting compositions. And with a 70 to 200 millimeter lens, it's really perfect for reaching out and grabbing those compositions. So let's see what images we can capture. So with any lens, the most important aspect to consider is image quality. And I'm happy to report that in this regard, the Sigma 70 to 200 millimeter Sport doesn't disappoint. This is an absolutely fantastic lens in terms of optical quality, and it produces gorgeous images. I really haven't found anything to complain about, even at its widest aperture and throughout its focal range. It is really extremely solid when it comes to image quality. Genuinely, I can't find anything to complain about in any of the sample images I have shot. It's really, the image looks great, corner to corner. Yeah, absolutely amazing lens in terms of image quality. So this is a great place to talk about build quality, durability, and weatherproofing. And in all these regards, this lens really excels. It may be somewhat cliche to say so, but the Sigma 70 to 200 millimeter Sport is built like a tank. It is really rough and tough, and I think it could really stand up to a lot of abuse. The materials used to construct this lens are really just top-notch metal and high-quality plastics and really solid rubber rings. This lens could certainly stand up to a lot, and it is fully weather sealed and yeah, just top-notch overall in terms of build quality, durability, and weatherproofing. So now the snow is really coming down out here, and there's some really nice compositions out over the cliff of the snowy trees with just a blank void because you can't see down below the clouds. And yeah, this lens is absolutely fantastic for really picking out details here and getting some beautiful snowscapes with the falling snow around the snow-encrusted trees and rocks. Really, really nice. So one thing that's really helpful out here in the snow is a lens hood. And I really want to talk about why the lens hood of the Sigma 70-200mm Sport is particularly nice, and that is this locking mechanism right here, where as you can see, it unscrews like that, and the mechanism is all metal there, so it's really nice and durable. The lens hood is plastic, but it's really tough plastic, and it locks into this groove all running around the lens here. And so you don't get a lot of the normal wear and tear you get from one of the other lens hood mechanisms from Canon or Nikon. So this is absolutely the best lens hood I think I've ever used. Now, one of my absolute favorite things about this lens is the integrated arca-swiss compatible tripod foot, which means that you can just stick it onto any arca-swiss plate and it'll just fit right in there like that. And this is absolutely a necessity in my opinion, and it really annoys me when lens manufacturers such as Canon and Nikon make super long, super expensive telephoto lenses and then don't include an integrated arca-swiss plate. It's such an easy, obvious thing to do, and it makes my life a whole lot easier. So that is in itself, I believe, a reason to opt for the Sigma 70-200mm Sport. While I'm waiting for the snowstorm to pass, we're going to talk a little bit about the controls on the lens barrel of the 70-200mm Sport. We have an auto manual focus switch, as you'd expect. You'd have a focus limiter with a couple of different settings there, a couple of different optical stabilization settings. You've got some customizable settings there, and on the very bottom underneath you have a click and declick switch, which controls the functionality of the aperture dial here, so you can set it to operate smoothly with audible clicks and really, lock it into an aperture setting, or you can declick it and have it so that it turns smoothly, which is more optimal for some video shooting. And you can even lock the aperture ring in auto or manual mode. So you have that functionality too. And it's really great to have all these controls on the lens itself. Oh, you've got a couple of customizable buttons there as well. So yeah, just a lot of great stuff on the lens itself. I like to have all those manual controls. I prefer to having everything in the menus on the camera. Yeah, pretty good in terms of controls. So as you may have noticed, I've been exclusively focused on landscape and nature photography today, and that's just because that's what I'm out here doing. While I'm filming this review, I'm out here capturing landscape and nature photos. This lens is fantastic for that, but it's also highly versatile. It's great for taking portraits, doing some wildlife photography if your subject's not too far away, and in general, this lens can handle so many different situations. I mean, if you can only have one lens, a 70 to 200 millimeter lens isn't a bad choice to have. It's a great focal range for a lot of different subjects. So this lens will only set you back $1,500. Now that may sound like a lot, but first-party lenses from Canon, Nikon, and Sony will set you back over $2,000. So by comparison, the Sigma 70 to 200 millimeter Sport is a bargain. And there really aren't any downsides to it in comparison to those lenses. You aren't really losing anything compared to those more expensive lenses. So yeah, it's just a fantastic lens from a value perspective. So really the only downside to the Sigma 70 to 200 millimeter Sport is that if you're a Canon or Nikon shooter, you're kind of out of luck because it's only available for E and L mounts. However, that still is a wide range of camera bodies that is actually available for. You can use this, I'm using it with a Sigma camera right now, but you can use it with Blackmagic, you can use it with Panasonic cameras, with Leica cameras, or you could get an E-mount and use it with all of Sony's mini cameras. So there's really a lot of people who will be able to take advantage of this, just not people who've chosen Canon or Nikon as their primary systems, unless you want to use adapters, which are actually available and at least a reasonable option. So this is quite a heavy lens, but that's what you'd expect from a 70 to 200 millimeter f2.8. There's a lot of glass you have to pack in here in order to achieve that focal range and aperture. And of course, it's got all that metal construction, and it's just really heavy duty. So the heavy weight is to be expected, and it's really not any heavier than any other 70 to 200 millimeter f2.8 lens. I'm shooting with it on the Sigma FPL, of course, which is the smallest full-frame camera you can get. So it really is diminutive in proportion to the lens. But with this additional grip I have on there, it actually is pretty ergonomic even with this small camera. And overall, I would give this top marks in terms of usability. So the weather is really starting to close in now, and I better wrap up this review. In short, the Sigma 70-200 f2.8 DG-DN Sport lens is absolutely fantastic. I really can't think of a single negative thing to say, and I really think this might be my favorite 70-200 millimeter lens that I've ever tested. It's just that good, and I can highly recommend it. Anyway, thanks for watching. I want to say a special thank you to Sigma for loaning the 70-200 millimeter and the Sigma FPL to me for a couple of weeks to test. It's been really great shooting with this system, and yeah, thanks very much for watching. I'll see you all again next time. Bye.